What's up, my peeps? Today we are reacting to a scary compilation. Now, today, this is a special day. A very special day. Today, I'm doing another one with another collab with Juborn Stone 430.
Bro forgot my name.
I stuttered a little bit, but that's okay.
You had to think about it.
Yeah, I forgot for a second.
Oh, I'm offended.
I can probably forget my channel name sometimes. Alright,
Probably.
so let's get right into it.
This is why you should always change your locks. In 2017, a college girl woke up from a nightmare drenched in sweat and decided to rinse off
happened to me
before going
last
back
night.
to sleep. She propped her phone
Probably
on a
'cause I
shelf,
wasn't
turned on some
sleeping
music, and then
at
hopped
all.
in the shower.
Take a
A
shower?
few minutes later, she reaches for her phone to change the song, but stops suddenly. Reflected on her phone's screen was a person standing
It
in
looks
the
like
middle of her
someone
bathroom
with a
facing the
mask
shower.
on their face.
She somehow kept her composure, turned the water to scalding hot, and then ripped
I'll
open
probably
the
run
curtain
out
and
and
sprayed the
tackle him like a
intruder in the
football
face. As they howled in
she sprayed
pain,
him.
she ran past them to her kitchen to get her butcher's knife. In a panic, she can't find her knife, so she just runs out of the apartment
I
and
would
calls
probably
the
put it
police.
right next
The
to
police
me
go
in
in
my
and
bedroom.
come out with
She
a
was in there.
crazy-looking woman in handcuffs.
butcher
One of
knife?
the officers comes over to the girl and says she used to
Sure,
live
like a
here and she had
baseball bat.
copies of your keys.
No,
Then he
it's not as
pauses
fun.
and looks down and brings
Fun?
up a clear evidence bag
Psychopath?
containing her butcher's knife, and he says, "Looks like she wanted her apartment back."
Yep.
There's something terrifying going on at Chuck E. Cheese right now, and I'm gonna explain
I've never
it.
been there.
So we all know about the game Five Nights at Freddy's, right? It's a game based around a restaurant that's pretty much like a Chuck E. Cheese, where the
I'm making
animatronics come to life and wreak havoc on all the guests there.
Pirates of Freddy's, yeah.
But what if I
Totally
told you
ridiculous.
this was possibly happening in real
I've
life
seen
right
it.
now? Just 2 days ago, 5 children have gone missing inside of a Chuck E. Cheese, and the parents reported a weird
Chuck
smell from
E.
the
Cheese?
inside of the building.
Maybe it's
And then
formerly
just like
owned
Five
by
Nights at
Chuck-
Freddy's, someone that worked the late night shift actually got killed after hours. Now these are all pretty weird, but here's the kicker right here. Check out this headline.
Yeah, it's
Night
like-
shift workers from Chuck E. Cheese claim strange movement from animatronics post hours.
I'm not surprised.
So I don't know. What do you think about this? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? And I mean, with 2020 and everything going on, like I wouldn't be shocked if it was real.
Blood-curdling
alive.
facts that you
Joe
wish you
Burrow.
never knew.
What?
Part one.
Joe
No.
Burrow.
When creating
Joe
the
Burrow.
Pirates of the
Jack
Caribbean
Neal.
ride at
Joe Burrow.
Disneyland, they couldn't
Guys,
create
his
skeletons
hairstyle,
that looked
even-
realistic enough.
Guys, tell me he's
So
Jack
they
Neal.
used real
Joe Burrow
human
looks like
skeletons.
he's, like,
Since
40.
then, they've
No
removed
offense,
all
Joe
but
Burrow.
one. Ducks sometimes become cannibals due to boredom, meaning they kill and eat each other. This behavior
wonderful
begins
sound
as early as 4 weeks old.
Don't do all that
Crocodiles are
editing.
capable of galloping, similar to a horse. Luckily, alligators cannot. And while we're at
Why did
it,
he seem
tarantulas
happy
can
about
swim.
Why are you so?
It's extremely common after you die that there will be extreme gas buildup and you will burp after death. And sometimes dead bodies can
Almost
even
burp.
sit up on their own. Also, if a pregnant woman dies, the gas buildup in her body can actually forcefully push a baby out.
Oh,
In
wow.
other words, a post-mortem baby bazooka.
Aw.
Hearing is the last bodily
baby.
function to go after one dies. So it's very possible that the last thing you ever hear is the paramedic calling off your CPR.
This is why you should never
Yeah.
stay in sketchy motels.
Mr.
In
Brown.
2005, a young woman on a
sorry,
solo
if I
road
say
trip
sketchy
across the
motel, I'm
country
running
decided
15
to stop
miles.
for the night. The first place she sees is the Mountaintop Motel. It looked pretty cheap, but she was tired, so she said
It
good
looks
enough.
scary as
The
crap.
check-in guy eyed her up and down very uncomfortably and then asked her if she was traveling alone. She ignores the question, pays for her room, and
Good
then
job.
walks away with the key. When she gets inside her
lucky
room
girl.
and sees there are literally cockroaches in her bed, she says
Okay.
nope and decides
Yeah.
to sleep in her car in the parking lot.
Yep.
Around 3
Well,
a.m.,
actually-
she wakes up to see the check-in guy using his
God.
own keys to get into the motel room she was supposed to be in. A few minutes later, he storms out and slams the door and starts walking towards her car.
Oh my God.
Terrified, she hides under her blanket as the man tries to open her car doors but can't and walks away. She speeds off and calls her friend and asks her to look up the address of Mountaintop Motel so she can give it to police.
Oh,
Her
that's
friend's quiet
ridiculous.
for a second and then just says, "The Mountaintop Motel closed a week ago. If someone offers you
no.
this,
No, no,
walk
no, no.
away." In 2016,
No, no,
a man was
no,
staying at his
no.
friend's cabin in the woods when he decided to go for an evening stroll. A little ways down the trail, he hears someone call out from behind his neighbor's house.
do that.
He looks up and he sees
God.
this skinny guy pop out from behind the building who starts waving
Slenderman?
frantically at him to come over. Worried this guy could be in trouble, the man
Why is
takes
that-
off running to assist. But when he gets close enough, the neighbor just offers him a fistful of Slim Jims and starts talking about how much he hates his wife. Sensing there was something wrong with this guy, he says no thank you to the Slim Jims and walks away. The next day, the man calls his friend who owned the cabin to ask him what the deal was with his weirdo neighbor. There was silence on the phone, and then his friend just says, I don't have any neighbors.
Oh, God.
The police are called, and it turns out his neighbor was really some lunatic who had recently killed his wife
Oh, no.
and had been hiding out in the abandoned cabin next door.
Oh, isn't that
This is why you
fantastic?
always say yes to tandoori chicken. In 2012, a high school tutor and her student stayed up so late one night studying that by the time they were done, the buses had stopped running. Without another way home, the student asked if he could stay the night at her place. Reluctantly, she agreed. When they got back to the apartment, she fell asleep on her bed and he fell asleep on a blanket next to her bed on the ground. A few hours later, she wakes up to the boy standing awkwardly in the middle of the room with a very strange look on his face. She asks him, what's wrong? He looks at her and says, I'm really hungry. Let's go get some tandoori chicken. Confused, she says, it's 2 a.m. Just get a snack in the cupboard. And he grabs her by the arm and he says, no, we are getting tandoori chicken right
I've seen
now. And he
this.
yanks her from the bed. Feeling totally caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed.
Oh my god.
This is why you should always trust your gut.
This
In
was
the
a
early
combination of Mr. Ballin.
That's what it was like. So, if there's someone under my bed, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cause, okay, don't call me a chicken, but call me a chicken. Every time I go to bed, I look under my bed, and every time I think, there's gonna be someone down there, there's gonna be someone down there, there's gonna be someone down there. And I look down, there's nobody there, and I instantly just feel the biggest relief I've ever felt every time is what it feels like. Did you get scared?
Well, my cat just made a noise, and it sounded like there's somebody, like, walking into the door, so yes, I just got scared, guys.
Alright, let's
Congrats,
continue.
I got scared, and it wasn't even the video that scared me.
Mr. Ballin, you're slacking.
Okay.
Alright, start. Or not.
1970s, a college student decided to hitchhike his way home after class.
No,
A car
no,
pulls
no,
up,
just
a man
no.
offers him a ride, and he climbs in. As soon as the car started moving, the student felt totally uneasy, like something was wrong, but he couldn't quite place it.
Someone's
Without
calling
saying
me.
anything, he waited till the next time they slowed down, and he flung the door open and ran away. 2 years later, he's flicking through TV channels when he comes across this special interview with a death row inmate. And it's just the audio recording, so he hears the interviewer ask the inmate, why did you remove all the door handles inside of your car? The man just goes, well, the first time I tried to kill someone, I picked up a college hitchhiker who got smart at some point and jumped out of my car. So, lesson learned, remove all the door
Why
handles.
does he not
When
sound
they
like
showed
he's-
his picture,
he's like a
the student
bad
knew
guy?
immediately that he was
Yeah.
supposed to be the first victim of John Wayne Gacy, aka the killer clown, who had killed over 30 men and boys in his clown room and stuffed them into his basement.
Oh my god.
This is why you should always trust your gut. In the 1970s, a young couple decided to go for a late night hike in the woods. A couple minutes into their walk,
Okay, let me just say. Don't go on a late night hike. You're not going to be able to see anything. I mean, I guess you could bring a flashlight, but you have no idea what's out there. And there's so many things that could be lurking, basically. But just
Okay.
don't.
When I move into my own house, what I'm gonna do, as soon as I get home from work, locking the doors.
Yes.
And make sure no one's in my house. And if I think there's someone in it, if I see somebody in my house, what I do is
Right.
I grab my keys, I go, I call the police, and I stake out my house where he can't see me. And if he comes out, I'm gonna scream at him and scare him.
I think I would just move. Leave all my belongings in the home. I would just move.
and the man remembers thinking something's not right. He tells his girlfriend, but they just decide to ignore it and keep going, until he steps on something that felt really soft, like it was alive. Before he has a chance to see what he stepped on, they hear all this rustling in the bushes next to them, and they bolt. Years later, that couple turns on the TV, and a death row inmate who's about to be executed is being interviewed. And they ask him, was there ever a time that you were almost caught red-handed? He responded, yes, one time. I was in the woods, and a couple walked through, and the man actually stepped on the body of a girl I had just killed. I was hiding in the bushes just a few feet away. They didn't see me. That couple had run into one of the worst serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy.
So supposedly this is what the fallen angel Lucifer looks like.
Oh,
And this is what the moon looked like on March
not scary
31st,
at all.
2020.
Yeah.
Okay, there's one time when I was at football practice and the moon was literally red. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It was literally red, and I did not sleep that night. Period. The end.
Werewolves
I
are
don't know about any of you guys,
Yeah,
but
that's
this
what-
is scary, especially with everything going on in the world right now. Pretty cool.
What?
Let this be a
I wanna see it
reminder
like
that
that.
there really are monsters out there. In 2007, a woman living right near a prison in California got home
Why?
late one night and went right to bed. Around midnight, she woke up to footsteps on her first floor, assumed it was her roommate, so she goes downstairs to say hi. She yells out to her roommate, who doesn't say anything, and then in walks this giant man who she doesn't recognize. She runs upstairs, jumps in her closet into the crawl space, and hides. As she's helplessly tucked away in this little crawl space, trying not to make any sound, all she hears is this giant man sprinting around her house, running into walls, flipping furniture, and screaming in frustration because he can't find her. Finally, after several hours, she slowly opens the crawl space back up, crawls out, and gets her phone off the nightstand and calls police. As she's telling the police her story, she describes the person who had broken in, and they stop her and say, "Ma'am, go back in the crawl space and stay there. We'll be there as soon as we can." It turned out a 6'11" convicted murderer had escaped the prison and was still on the loose.
11.
No, that face. That face makes me want to crawl under my blanket and cry.
Cry.
Yeah, cry. Did you see that man? He looked like
a zombie. Well,
not just a
it
zombie.
sounds
Like
mean, but yeah, he kind of looks like a dead person. That's so mean though. But he's a serial killer, so I can probably be mean to him.
he's probably dead now.
What the frick?
Oh, what the
my
fuck?
God,
What the?
it's a spider. Spider.
No, why are you going toward?
Oh wow.
If you scare easily, I wouldn't watch this video. In
Well,
2013,
I'll
a
watch
mine
it anyway.
explorer found this entrance to an abandoned mine and decided to go have a look around. He
Why?
decides to film his experience and upload it to his YouTube channel, where he had uploaded hundreds of other videos of him exploring mines, but he never once references the paranormal or
Hundreds?
ghosts or anything like that until this video. As soon as he steps foot inside, he tells the camera that he has a really uneasy feeling about being there and wonders if he should
Go
even
back.
keep going, but he does.
Why?
Everything seems pretty normal until he gets to a section in the mine where there's a bunch of chains hanging down from the ceiling. He hears something in the back of the tunnel, so he pulls his flashlight out and he shines it towards the back, and he sees a chain swinging, and it shouldn't be, because there's no draft and he's all alone, and you can tell he's scared by the way he starts talking. Although he's totally freaked out, he wants to know what's causing the chain to swing, so he goes farther and farther into the mine until he hears something. People whispering in every direction. He gets totally spooked and runs out. If you don't want to
better
sleep
run away.
tonight, watch the whole video. This is why you should never open your door.
I'm kind of speechless of these videos. Like
Spider one was fake.
my. Oh yeah. It's the least scary one, though. But it's like, think about this. Like, what if that happens to you?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even go into a cave. Like,
No. I'm talking about a serial killer, that dead guy looking face.
oh, what
man.
about him?
Like, what if he's still alive? What if he sees these videos? He's like,
Doubtful.
I'm gonna go get those little kids, those little pests. How dare they disrespect
He
me?
doesn't know where he lives or anything about us really, except for our YouTubers and
Scary
kids.
man, don't come to our house and kill us. I'm gonna live. And if you do kill me, just like go right in my heart, so I just don't have a
Ow.
painful death.
That would be a painful death.
Well,
it just wouldn't
but it-
take long.
Yeah. You don't want to be like just stabbed and you're just sitting there in the most pain ever, just waiting
I wanna-
for you to finally die.
I would definitely rather be shot than stabbed. Like,
I'd rather just be shot by a shotgun right in the head, so I just die immediately.
even
If I die, I just want to die. Not like I don't care if it's painful for like 1 second.
door for strangers. In 2013,
Sorry about that, guys. That was a bit of a disturbance.
Disturbance. Wait, hold on. Let me rewind. I think we were like 2 seconds. There. Okay.
Alright, start it.
this is why you should never open your door for strangers. In 2013, a woman let her
Yeah,
dog out
dude.
to use
I
the
don't think
bathroom
I would
one more
ever do
time
that.
before bed. After only a few minutes, she starts hearing scratching on her door, which is typically the sound her dog makes when he's ready to come in. But it just seemed way too soon for him to be done being outside. So she decides to look through the peephole to make sure it really is her dog. But what she sees is terrifying. A deranged-looking man is right outside her door, staring intently at her door handle, waiting for it to turn open. As she's looking in horror, unable to do anything, he starts scratching at the door as hard as he can, never leaving his gaze from the door handle. She manages to stifle a scream, she backs away and realizes her dog is still outside. So she goes to the side window, but there's no sign of her dog, and so she goes back to the door to see if maybe the man's moved. He hasn't moved, his mouth is open, and he's staring directly at the peephole. Then he turns around and walks away. With the man gone, she discovers her dog unharmed, his leash had just been cut. But that means he had a knife.
Terrifying facts about the ocean. Let's get into it. So we've explored.
Okay.
This is why you should
What-
always
what- oh,
change
no,
your
where
lock.
are we? Where were we?
Right out the end.
Right here?
No. Wait.
Right here?
Hold on. No, hold on. Let go. You went too far. We were like. Oh, hold on. Your drink's on the way.
She backs away and
Where do you start?
realizes
I
her
have something
dog
to
is still
say.
outside.
Okay, whatever. I don't even know if I'm. Okay, go.
If that dog was harmed, Mr. Ballin would be getting a very angry email.
Well, it's not his fault.
But he's telling the story.
Yeah, that's what
If
that's
he
his
said that, I
career.
would have started crying. Seriously.
So she goes to the side window, but there's no sign of her. Then he turns around and walks
Okay, I
away.
think that was
With
the-
the man gone, she
right?
discovers her
Yeah,
dog
okay.
unharmed, his leash had just been cut.
Alright, guys,
but that
go
means
subscribe to Mr.
he
Ball.
had a knife.
Terrifying facts about the ocean. Let's
Yeah.
get into it.
No,
So we've
No,
explored.
it's-
Yeah.
what was that?
Oh my god. There's 2 seconds left. Whatever. So, yeah. What we've learned from this video.
Is don't
Don't-
go outside at night.
Don't go hiking at night. Unless you want to most likely.
Die.
But even if, like, you didn't have a serial killer, you could still, like, hit something on the ground and trip and, like, break your arm.
Yep.
It would just be a better idea to do it in the daytime.
No, I would rather just not. Just get me a treadmill. Don't have to go outside.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to see, like, the beautiful sights.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Alright. I guess.
Alright, guys. This has been another one. Your least favorite YouTuber, Roblox
Least.
Style.
Ouch. Hurt
Oh,
yourself's feelings.
I'm not gonna be somebody's favorite. Alright, guys.
You never
Go
know.
subscribe to True Born Snow. Gotta finish it.
4:30?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, guys.
I was letting
keep
you-
forgetting
I was
my
let-
name.
I was letting you finish it so I would be nice.
Alright, I guess.
Alright, guys. This has been another one with your boy,
And?
the killer.
What? What?
And True Born Snow. Goodbye.